Welcome to Tree Talkin' Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest fights to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game.
Yeah, I caught a bobcat today.
Nice.
So I won't argue with that. That's the first one that I've caught in 2023. I caught one, back in December. But yeah, we went out. It snowed. Man, we have way too much snow. Utah's been in a drought for years, and I think this year might be the year that actually gets us close to being out of it. Most of our snowpack's like twice what it normally is.
Oh wow.
So normally where I'm hunting, I don't go up in the high country just because I hate walking in deep snow and I don't like snowmobiles. So if I can't cut it on my truck or walk to it, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But so where I normally hunt, I'm like, yeah, we'll get into 6-8 inches of snow, and it's like some of the roads I cut this morning, I was pushing it with my bumper.
Oh wow.
So I had to go a little farther out west to find some bobcats. There's not very many lions out there, so I just went out looking for a bobcat and got lucky. Had a decent tom that had crossed the road in some low country with just rolling hills. Put down 3 dogs. I had Zeus and Waylon, which are my 2 main dogs, and then I threw a young dog, Rambo, in, and they made pretty quick work of it. I think they had him caught about 3 hours after he gave them some loops.
Nice.
But that's a nice thing about like bobcats out there is they like the chase is long, but they never go very far.
Yeah.
Like a lion sometimes will turn loose and they tree 3 or 4 miles away in one direction, whereas a bobcat the race is 6 miles, but he's never more than a mile from you.
Yeah. The lions line out and actually cover some distance where the bobcats just circle.
Yeah, they'll just circle and stay in one spot and play their tricks and all that. And luckily, today was just about perfect conditions. It's still snowing just a hair, and he had crossed. I figured he probably wasn't more than an hour and a half, 2 hours before me, so he was pretty fresh. Hadn't moved too far, and
nice.
Just deep enough snow that the dogs could gain ground on him pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So, but I'd go run him again tomorrow if I could find him. I left him in the tree, but luckily those dogs just pulled through and made good work. But when you turn your best dog loose, that's what you expect, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, do you run a lot of bobcats?
I don't. I'm gonna start more and more the way our lion population is starting to head in Utah. I'll start running them more and more. But I usually only run like 3 or 4 a year. Okay. Not very many.
Yeah.
So to say I have bobcat dogs is not a thing. I got lion and bear dogs, and I'll catch the occasional bobcat.
There you go. Hey, you can catch one. That's still doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll take it. There's a couple guys around here that consider lions trash, and they just like to run bobcats, and they'll occasionally catch a lion on accident. But if it's a cat, it's a cat to me.
Yeah.
But I do pass up a lot of bobcat tracks looking for lions.
Yeah. I know a friend of mine in Idaho has said similar things, and in hindsight, he said he's regretted it at times. You spend all this time looking for lion tracks. He goes, I'll pass 3 or 4 bobcat tracks, and he's like, the time I've wasted looking for lion tracks. He goes, a lot of times it makes them better dogs anyway. So he's like, just need to run more of them anyway. When he's just running for fun.
Oh, I agree completely, and I'm in the same boat. I'm kind of starting to kick myself for not, running more, and a lot of the reasons why I pass them up is because I like to run a few more dogs, and if you put more than 2 or 3 dogs on a bobcat, a lot of times they can stomp it out or mess it up, and it takes a good old dog to figure it out where the younger dogs screw it up. And a lion, you can turn 2 or 3 good dogs out and turn 4 pups loose with it, and they're going to catch it.
Yeah.
And that's my hard thing is I got pups to train, and it's hard to train pups on bobcats. A lot of times they just don't find enough scent to keep the interest.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty of that too. Yep, for sure.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself?
Dustin Clark. I own Cold Strike gear, and I also run the Hunting Fan Instagram. I'm from southern Utah and been running dogs for about 16 years now.
Nice. So this is round 2 of this podcast.
Yep.
You were one of the very early podcasts that I recorded, and I will throw Buddy under the bus, especially now that we've partnered back up. I recorded one with you and your wife Amanda. Like I said, you were first 5 or 6 podcasts that I recorded. I kind of recorded a batch of them, and then honestly, I didn't record any for quite a while. But when I wanted to release your podcast, it kind of lined up with you guys going to Washington to meet Buddy and be on his podcast. So
Yep.
it got the axe and kind of what we talked about. By the time I kind of went out on my own, just because we were talking some of the timeline for what you were planning on, and it just didn't make sense at that point because some of it had already passed.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, I'm glad we get to do round 2.
Yep.
Any excuse I get to talk to someone about dogs and some other things, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. That's one of the fun parts about this. That's for sure.
oh, I can imagine.
So, what is Cold Strike and what is the Hunting Fam? Why don't you kind of explain what they are for anybody that's not familiar?
Okay. So the Hunting Fan is something that kind of just came about. I mean, like I said, I've been running dogs for 15 years, but my family really hasn't been a part of it until about the last, I'd say, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so my little boy started going with me a little bit and took a real big interest, and then his older sisters did. And from there, they kind of sucked their mother into it. And once she came into it, she's like, well, why don't we just start an Instagram to just kind of document our journey, but also put into the world, that get rid of the stereotype of houndsmen are these big, gruff, just ornery old guys that are this and that, and just bring to light what a lot of it truly is, and it's a family thing.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, for them, it really is a family thing. They just don't portray it, don't put it out there for the world to see like we do.
Yeah. I really like Amanda's story, and her story is really interesting. And, and just her take on things and how she kind of got into it, because she said she hated it.
Oh, yeah. In the first few years of our marriage, it was a big contention because I wanted to be on the mountain every chance I could, and she was home with the kids and dealing with her own stuff in life, and it was a big, contention for a long time, and we made a lot of compromises to I could hunt so much for a little bit here or there and all that, but once she, finally got sucked in by the kids, it definitely changed a lot, and now I hunt more than most guys. I'm very, very fortunate that way.
Yeah.
Now it's not a sense of contention. She just knows that it's there, and and for the lions and bobcats and that, she's seen one lion in a tree and she's good. She doesn't like the cold. She doesn't like the snow, but bears, she's all for it. That's our family thing is we camp a lot and catch a lot of bears together and just enjoy the mountain. My kids like lion hunting, but not her.
No, I definitely want to get my kids out a little bit more, and we just actually got a wall tent. It's nothing fancy. It's one of the cheaper ones, but hoping to do some camping and running some dogs. And get the kids out there a little bit.
No, yeah, do it. We started with just a normal 4 or 5 person tent that wasn't the most ideal, but we started with that, and now we graduated to a camper that makes it a lot easier for sure. But we'd go back to a tent if we had to, just because we enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's great that that you're showing that it is a family thing, and I've watched some of your videos and I follow you guys on social media, and you can tell your kids love it, just as much as you do.
Oh, they enjoy it, especially my older daughter. She's there, she likes it, she enjoys it. But my second daughter, Ella, she lives for the dogs. They're her favorite thing. She loves them. Same with my little boy and my youngest daughter. They all live for it. The oldest one, she's just happy to be along, but not her,
Yeah,
not her passion, but she sure enjoys it still.
that's good. So that's the hunting fam. Now, what's Cold Strike gear?
So Cold Strike came, I think we're about 2.5 years into it now. So as we were hunting as a family and, you know, enjoying the mountains and stuff, it just kind of came that Amanda and the girls realized that there wasn't quite as much out there for women when it comes to like hunting gear. And it's changed a little more since then, but especially the pants and
Yeah.
just, she wanted to still look good in the mountain, but want to be comfortable. And there just wasn't anything she could find that was decent at the time. So we started to develop our own line of hunting pants, and we brought in t-shirts and hats and sweatshirts just to kind of get some cash flow going.
Yeah.
And it just kind of snowballed from there. And now it's my main primary job that I do other than hunt, and it's worked out really, really well for us.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand the t-shirt cash flow thing. In case
Yeah,
the
I
listeners
heard you just launched them.
haven't picked up on the last couple episodes. Just launched some shirts with W, and so hopefully that's gonna kind of help me be able to do more this year.
Oh, I hope so. That's nice that you're able to work it out with Buddy and them at W, that they'll print them and ship them out for you, and
Yeah.
kind of just a little easier that way instead of having the overhead and having to warehouse it and everything like that. That makes a difference.
Oh, it does. And at the same point, one of the big things, while that other stuff definitely played into it, it's just the time.
Oh, I completely understand that for sure, because I did that for the first of it when we first started.
Yeah.
Luckily I had some help with Amanda and the kids and stuff, but I was working a full-time job trying to hunt plus trying to do Cold Strike. And
Yeah.
you don't realize when you start your own business that you go to work and work 8 hours and then you come home and work another 8 hours.
Yeah, I know. Being mostly a coon hunter, I tend to do most of my podcasting and editing at night. So it's actually put a dent in my coon hunting. So then I'm like, do I really want to add anything else that I would have to do in the evening or at night? Like, I'm already putting a
Yeah.
dent in my hunting as is. So
Yeah, the whole point of starting your own business and things is to free up your own time to go hunting, and it doesn't work that way at the first, does it?
No, it's kind of the opposite. But
Yeah, exactly.
like I said, it's just getting started, and like I said, I hope it works out. See how it all goes, and how well people like the shirts. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I got on and looked at them the other day after I listened to your last podcast with Buddy and Jason, and they're cool looking shirts for sure. I think they'll sell very well.
Thank you. So, you said you're working on pants. Where are you guys at with that? I know I watched, all the updates through all of COVID and all the issues with supply chain and getting the zippers and the buttons and all that. And so I know that was a major, major issue. And
oh yeah. It's I mean,
you picked
if anybody
the wrong
that
time.
knows, oh yeah, if anybody that knows me they know I'm halfway bald, and this process through pants and COVID has made it even worse.
Yep.
But so right now it's just we're kind of at just a standstill. We're just trying to decide what's going to be the best route for us. We were like one revision away from being done and ready to put them in production, and the shop we were using lost their technical seamstress, and they didn't have anyone with the ability to do what we needed. So they put us on hold, and then we had some issues with the zippers on the pants that were prototypes that we were testing out, and so we had to revamp the zippers and stuff like that. So now we're just at a point that we've contacted a few other shops, but we're just trying to decide which ones are going to be right for us, because we have our patterns that we've paid for and refined and stuff, and some of these other shops that are bigger that have the ability to do it don't want to use our patterns. They want to develop their own.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, well, we've already dropped X amount of dollars into this. Do I really want to drop that again?
Oh, yeah.
And so right now, at the point we're at, it's not feasible. So we're still just trying to
Yeah,
navigate finding another shop that will work with us and do some stuff like that.
and also at the same point, they want to make their own pattern. You've already created a product that you like, so
Yeah,
why have to go through and recreate the same thing? It just makes no
exactly.
sense.
Yeah, and it could just be that they've dealt with other people's patterns before, and sometimes they don't always work out. So they just kind of have a policy that we do our own, so we know it's going to work for us. And
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same point, it just wasn't in the cards for us, especially during COVID, to go
Yeah.
and drop so much more. So we're kind of just in limbo now, kind of waiting for things to smooth out a little, and then we'll go
Hmm.
from there once we start to push it again.
Gotcha. I've been excited because I definitely want to try a pair. Because
Yeah,
I don't know. I I've tried some other pants and I don't know. They're okay. I'm not going to throw
hmm
anybody under the bus, but there were some big name hunting influencer type people that were really selling this pair of pants, and I went and bought a pair, and like I said, they're okay. Are they
hmm
$160? Worth $160? Not in my opinion.
Yeah.
um, so
No, I understand that because I own a few of the big name brands, and there's some that don't hold up. There's some that have lasted great, you know. So, and I use them for
mhm,
sure.
yeah,
So yeah, hopefully we can get pushing through that this year and get them done this year. We're hoping.
mhm.
So,
No, I'm
but it all
excited
just
for
depends on what we can find.
yeah. I don't envy you and all that. Like I said, I know you guys have updated a lot through social media, and I've kind of watched that journey, and it's just like I said, post COVID, it was a lot of back and forth and supply issues, and obviously now you're telling
Yep.
me all this shop issues. I'm just like, geez, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot. That's for sure.
It's it's a journey for sure.
Hindsight, would you do it again?
In a heartbeat.
Well, that's all
Oh
that
yeah.
matters.
Yep. For me to be able to, and it was not just me. I mean, my wife was a huge part of it. She started it, and
Hmm.
we worked it together enough to where she could turn it over to me, and she's gone a different route with her own business, and so we're both running our own businesses together. We both don't have normal jobs. I'm able to go hunt when I want,
Hmm.
and so I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been an awesome journey. Tough at times, but
Yeah.
been a great one.
Now, are you still doing any guiding or outfitting?
I do help a few around here. A few friends that are outfitters. I do guide for them a little bit, and then
Okay.
I do go up to Idaho every fall and work on an elk ranch up there to get a
Okay.
little cash flow too. So
Because remember last year at some point I had said something about you know getting together and redoing a podcast, and Amanda responded that it'd have to wait till after you were done guiding.
yeah, yeah, I was probably up in Idaho because I'm
Okay.
usually gone for a couple months every fall.
Gotcha. It's a fun way to make a living in some ways, I guess.
Yeah, I don't, I won't complain for sure. I've definitely
I don't know. I've
been
never
blessed that way.
never elk hunted, but it seems like a lot of fun.
It is. They're a different animal. It's just something about being in the woods, hearing elk bugle and big bulls coming in screaming. It's it's on in the top. I mean, I'd still rather go run my dogs any day, but
Hmm.
they're one of my favorite animals to go chase in the woods. That's for sure. Unless it's my dogs chasing them, then it's not so fun.
Yeah, a deer chase on steroids, so I can't imagine.
Oh yeah, yep. It's yeah. You always have pups that try it.
Oh,
Hope
I'm sure.
if you learn and get your older dogs broke, some of them will tattle on them, but I've learned that my old dogs won't start it, but sometimes those pups will suck them right in once they start.
Yep, I've seen that happen a
It,
time or two.
yeah, it happens. I won't claim to say that I've never had a trash race because I have them.
Yep. So, what are you running for dogs?
Everything I own, they're all just grade dogs that kind of are all Southern Utah bred that come from a family that's been raising their own line of dogs for 70 plus years.
Okay. Most of them,
Well,
kind of look like that red tick, blue tick.
yeah, yeah, red tick, blue tick looking is everything I have, and most of my blue ticks are blue tick body with a red head,
Yeah.
and they're all tighter built dogs. I don't think I own a dog that's over 45 pounds. They're
Oh
all
wow.
pretty small, tight built dogs, and just are able to move a little quicker and stuff. Yeah, I don't have big dogs by any means,
Yeah.
but I like the smaller built dogs. I think for what we do, the real big dogs seem to not last as long. Their bodies kind of break down
Hmm.
once they get a little older, versus where these smaller dogs tend to get a few more years out of them.
I've heard that from more than one person, not necessarily on my podcast, but just listening to other podcasts as well. So
Yeah, and back in the day, that's all the old timers had was just the big old, the classic hound, big
yeah.
old 80-pound hound with droopy face, big old ears, and
Yep.
everything like that. But more and more people have kind of bred away from it, depending on where you live. I know up in like Canada and that, I know some guys that still run them big,
Hmm.
70 to 80-pound dogs and stuff because they got the deeper snow. But
Yeah.
down here, especially where we hunt in the dirt a lot and stuff, we don't need it. We just need dogs that are agile and will last a long time.
Hmm.
So,
Well, and also just coming from the coonhound side for me, you don't see that as much because most coon hunters, you just don't put the miles like you guys do running bears and lions.
hmm
So they
yeah,
don't
oh yeah,
they don't tend to break down the same way that your dogs do.
yeah, and I didn't think about that, but for sure. I mean, I used to run coons when we lived up north, and our coon races up there were nothing like some of the bear races we have. Some of these bear
Yeah.
races, you get on one of those runners, we're talking 15 to 20. There you are.
I'm really sorry. I had a call come in and then I tried to ignore it and I ended up swapping to it. But so I'll have to cut that out of there. But
That's all
sorry about
right.
that.
No, I understand. I edit Amanda's podcast, so I understand all of it.
So I don't even know what exactly we were talking about other than you were saying your hounds are a little smaller, not as big.
Oh, I think we were talking about bear races, and they can get 15 to 20 miles, and
Yeah.
bigger dogs breaking down.
Yep.
So, and same with our lion races. Some of them dogs can go 500 yards in tree, and I've had some, especially in the dirt, that you'll trail all day long and you'll never catch it. You'll go 10 to 12 miles and just never even get it jumped, or sometimes you get it jumped, but they just sometimes in lions will hit a long trot, and if they hit a long trot, they can travel a long ways. It's when you get them up on a full run and a sprint that they get gassed.
Okay. I've
But
always
you
heard
get
that,
some of those,
but
yeah, they just don't have the lung capacity like bears do.
hmm which
But if they hit that long trot, they can cover some country.
I don't know. Granted, they don't have the legs like a dog a lot of times do, but you would think if you look at a lion, like they've got a pretty big chest cavity. You would think they would
Oh
have a little better lung capacity.
yeah, they get gassed quick. I mean and like so you'll a tree sometimes, and it's mainly the females. Some of these bigger toms usually don't jump, but you'll get 50, 60 yards from the tree, and she'll see you,
Hmm.
and she'll bail, and a lot of times they don't make it more than 200 or 300 yards, and they're gassed. And you'll get to the tree again, and they're panting. They're done for. Then they stay in the tree.
Gotcha.
Some of them will keep jumping on you, but they don't run as far.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually a jumped lion race, if the dogs are right there with it and it's not in ledges, they catch it fairly quick. Most
Hmm.
of like when we're running lions is just trailing
Yeah.
up until the jump point, and then once they jump it, it's over pretty quick.
Hmm. No, it's just like I said. If you look at a mountain lion and you look at a bear, and you just without knowing anything, and you're like, which of these is going to be able to run further and longer? 9 times out
Oh
of
yeah,
10, some uneducated person's going to be like, oh yeah, that lion's going to run forever, and the freaking bear's going to, be done in 100 yards.
yep.
Where it's complete opposite, which is just mind-boggling.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree. Looking at them both, you wouldn't think it, but man, some of those bears, they put their Nikes on and they go to the races.
Oh, trust me, I know. Been on a few of them.
Yep. Oh yeah, we all have them, and that's when you have 10 dogs on it, and 2 dogs finish it, and you have dogs scattered from heck to breakfast in between that you got to pick up or wait for them to come out.
Yep.
You see a halfway decent track, not real big, just in the middle, and you're like, they ought to burn this one down.
Yeah.
You get burned.
Yep. Nope. Done it before. And like you said, dogs literally scattered everywhere. And then last year, I guess, or yeah, I think it was last year, I had one dog she stayed on the bear and everything else fell out. Well, we're like, we'll go find her. Well, of course, you can't just go straight to her because you're in the mountains, and so you got to go all the way out and around. She's like 2 miles as the crow flies, but you got to go 45 minutes out of the way to get around to her. And then come to find out, a whole another group packed into her and treated 800 yards, from the parking area in the one spot. It was like, oh, that's real convenient. We've been running that bear since daylight, but yeah,
Yeah, they packed into it once it was tired.
exactly. I mean, luckily, I don't want to say luckily, but it ended up not being a big enough bear to kill. It was youth day that particular day, but then we went to go get to the other dogs, and here a couple of the other dogs had found a bear and treat it. They were 2 miles in to the middle of national forest where there's no road access, so we start hiking into them. We get about half to 3/4 of the way there, I guess. And we had lost signal with them. With the truck antenna, we had them, but then on the handhelds, we didn't. So we didn't realize that. I don't know. We got, like I said, somewhere between half and 3/4 of the way there, and bear had bailed, and
Oh no.
so we finally kind of got to the top, and it was like, oh, they're still a mile away, and now they're moving again.
Yep.
And then my buddy who I was with, his cousin called him, was like, were those your dog's treat? They were a treat for like an hour and a half. He's like, yeah, we were walking to them.
Yeah, I can't say that I haven't been there either. Oh, yeah, been there for sure.
It's frustrating, but that's it.
Oh,
The
it
little
is.
runner bears.
Yeah, well, those are the days that as you're hiking your guts out, whether it's in deep snow or just in rough country, and you wonder why you do what you do, and then you get to the tree and you forget it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've had those days, walking through waist deep snow, and you you're like, this is stupid. Why do I even do this? And then you get there, and your pup that's 10 months or 12 months old is firing hard and treeing, and all of a sudden you're got the energy of a little kid, and you're just as happy as could be.
Yep. No, I get it.
I mean, that's just, but that's why houndsmen do what they do. It's
Exactly.
90% of us, it's not for the tree so much as it's just the dogs.
Yep.
I could follow my dogs all day long and just watch them trail, and I'd be happy as could be.
I don't know if I could say the same. I like to see them tree, whether whether I'm shooting it or not. I can walk away from a tree and it's not a big deal, but I at least like to see them tree it.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, like in the snow. I mean, I can't keep up with them. If I cut them loose in the snow, they'll be at the tree, and I'll get there when I can get there. But and same with bears. But trailing lions in the dirt. Whether it's on foot or I have a good buddy that we ride mules and just
Mhm.
follow behind the dogs on mules, and it's just fun to really watch those dogs dig in and do what they're bred to do and go to work and just push that hard track in the dirt. That's
Yeah.
that's fun. That's an experience if someone's never done it, just to watch some good dirt lion dogs trail
Hmm.
a lion in the dirt. It's unreal.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I guess there's also a big difference seeing it, but like watching Brett Vaughn's YouTube videos. To me, I
Hmm.
just shake my head. I'm like, there comes a point where I don't know. I would need to be a
Yeah.
little more successful.
Oh, I agree with with watching that. Like, I used to, talk to my friends. I was like, man, this guy hunts a lot, but does he ever catch anything? And Brett catches lions. He does. It's just from what he portrays, though. He shows
Oh, he shows
all of
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. He shows the good. He shows the bad. He shows
Yep.
a lot of it. And we all get our butts kicked. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and that was a struggle that I had when we first kind of started our hunting fam Instagram. Is Amanda's like, you got to show it all. I was like, I'm not showing people I got my butt kicked today. Why would I share that? And she's like,
Yeah.
no, you got to show it all. So I started showing it a little. I mean, it happens to all of us. We all get bested one day or another. Whether dogs take a track backwards or pups start a trash race, or it's. And that's the hard part about social media is 90% of the time, all it is everybody's highlight reel.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You don't see the bad and stuff like that. And I'll give it to Brett. He shows it all.
He does.
But he lives in some rough country too, where I don't think he's, got lions are a little more few and far between for sure.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying anything bad about his dogs. I just don't know if I lived there that I could do what he does.
I agree. I'm with you. I mean, I love watching them trail, but I enjoy the tree too, and especially with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
My kids, I mean, the tree is the end game for them. They want to go see the lion. They want to go see the bear.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. They love the dogs and stuff, but in the end, catching something is what we're there for.
Yeah. Like like I said, I'm all good to take a picture of the dog and take a picture of a coon up a tree and walk away. I'm fine, but it's not that I need to kill something, but it's just you want to see that end result.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that.
And at
completely.
The same point,
I mean,
I don't know, just the watching dogs trail, at least for coon hunting, you don't really watch them, so you listen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's different hunting at night and stuff, but watching them trail in the dirt, it's pretty cool just to watch them work and stuff, because half the time you're trailing on rock and stuff that you can't even see the track.
Jeez.
Lions are just, they're walking through the shell rock, or they're walking on ledges and stuff like that, so you can't see, so you're just relying on the dogs. Every once in a while, you'll catch a glimpse of the track, and oh yeah, they're still on and going. It's, it's fun to watch, but, in the end, our goal is to tree something for sure. And I'm the same way as you. I have no problem leaving them in the tree. I mean, I've been running mountain lions and bears for better part of 15, 16 years, and I've still never killed a mountain lion myself. I've seen plenty die over clients and stuff like that. And same with bears. I've only ever killed one bear in 15 years too. So
really?
I just enjoy the dogs. Yeah.
That surprises me. I mean, I don't know. I would think you would have killed, at least one or two. Just say you did, I guess.
No, I mean, I had a desire to do it, to kill. I mean, I definitely have more of a love for lions than I do bears. I could definitely kill another bear and not feel too bad about it. But lions, I just love running them, love treeing them, love seeing them. So when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, I want to kill a big tom. And the more and more I ran them, I was just like, if I kill one, it's one less that I get to run the next day or the next week, So I think I've only ever had a kill tag for a mountain lion in my pocket once. And, Utah split up into different units. And I think when I had that tag, I only hunted on the unit I had a tag for once. So I just like catching them. Like I said, I mean, I can't say that I haven't seen plenty die for other people over dogs and stuff, but never myself.
Well, I'm not you. That is definitely on the bucket list to at least get one, and get the typical full body mount to have in my man cave.
Oh, I understand it, and if there's going to be a day that I'll catch the right tom that I probably will put a tag on, and I can't say that I won't ever do it, because there's going to be the day that I find the right one that I'll take home with me, but hasn't happened yet.
Well, the right day is going to be when you don't have a tag in your pocket. Probably.
It will. I'll probably catch him and then think, oh, I'll just go buy a tag and come back a couple of days later and find him, and I'll never see him again.
Exactly.
That'll be my luck.
Well, you said you've been running hounds for like 15, 16 years. What got you started?
So I was just out of high school, and I honestly got my first hound like a month before Amanda and I got married. Um, but I was just working in a metal fabrication shop, and had a few guys that I worked with. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go chase mountain lions this weekend," and I started asking them questions because up until then, that was not even a part of my world. I had no idea. I mean, I had watched where the red fern grows, and that was about it as far as
Yeah.
my experience with hounds. And so after I asked a bunch of questions, they're like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Oh, sure, I'll go." So I hopped in, and we went out. It was in southern Idaho. Went out, and we didn't even find a lion. Like, we just went out hunting, got the dogs out, and I had a dog within a week after that. I mean, and it was partly due. They're like, "Yeah, we have a buddy that has a yearling that he hasn't done anything with her, and if you want to go get her and try her, you can." And so it was within a week after going my first time, and we didn't even like find a good enough track to run. I had a dog, so it was hook, line, and sinker real fast.
Yeah. Now, did you hunt before that, like anything else, or?
Yeah. I grew
Okay.
up hunting deer in elk. I had a bird dog. I loved hunting behind bird dogs. That was one of my favorite things to do, is hunt pheasants behind bird dogs. But
Okay.
I mean, I grew up hunting, just had never been around the hound world.
Gotcha. So it wasn't completely foreign then.
Mm-mm. Nope, just had never been to that part of it. But I've been hunting my entire life.
That's awesome. But, just by happenstance, you work with some guys and fall right into it. I always find it
Yeah,
very interesting talking to different people that didn't grow up into hounds. It wasn't something that was really prevalent in my childhood by any means. And somehow these dogs, where the red fern grows, like you said, sucks you in. And eventually I was able to go with somebody with some feist and then some curs, and then somehow ended up going bear hunting. And it does suck you in, that's for sure.
oh yeah, it's never like, it's not a. It's, very rarely is it ever a hobby.
Yeah.
It's once you get into it, it sucks you in deep enough that I like to say that it's a way of life.
Yeah.
It's not, especially like with hounds, keeping them in shape and keeping them going and stuff. You put so much time and effort into it and
Hmm.
everything else that it can't just be, oh, well, I'm going to keep a dog for 10 months out of the year, and then I'm going to use it for 1 month and then lay it back up and stuff like that. It doesn't work that way, at least with, big game hounds and stuff. And same with coon hunters. I mean, they're putting in the time and the effort getting them ready for whether they pleasure hunt or getting them ready for competitions. And,
Oh, yeah.
and until recently, well, I'd say, I don't know when I got on TikTok, but it's been like, a year and a half ago. I didn't know that running deer with dogs was a thing.
Hmm.
And it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I had no idea that was a thing, and I've been running hounds for, like 12, 13 years before I ever realized. I knew people ran fox and coyotes and stuff, but I mean, deer out here is a no-no, so I didn't think it was a thing anywhere else.
Well, it's a big no-no here, but I fortunately was able to go a couple years ago down in Virginia, and it's interesting. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like a rabbit hunt on steroids. Um,
Yeah,
you got people everywhere spread all out, kind of sitting on stand, and then you dump hounds in, and hopefully they push deer towards you.
yeah, that's nuts.
So, um, it was pretty crazy experience.
Oh, I can imagine, and I'd love to go experience it just to see the different style. Like, same with running pigs. Like, I want to go experience that. I want to go find somebody with rabbit beagles and experience that just because I love hunting behind dogs. If I
That's
can hunt it behind a dog, I'm going to enjoy it.
that's me. Like going
Uh,
out behind a dog, that's my thing. Like I don't care what we're going after, but just as long as there's a dog involved.
I'm the same way. Like I deer, grew up deer and elk hunting, loved it, and as soon as I started getting into the dogs, it's just like I'd rather I'll pass it up if I can go run my dogs. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not gonna choose deer and elk hunting or even bird hunting or anything over running my hounds now. But if someone offers me a chance to go chase something new behind a pack of dogs, I'm for it.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
And that's like I was talking with Amanda. I think it was last year sometime, and I'm just like, if I can make it work one day, I'm gonna just set out and try and go take my dogs and just meet up with some great guys and hunt bears across the country.
That's
Just
awesome.
in every state that it's possible,
Yeah.
I want to do it at one point in time. I want to go experience that state, just a different country, the different bears, because even in like just from Utah to Idaho
Mm-hmm.
and places that I've chased bears, they're different.
Yeah.
They run different down here in southern Utah than they do up in like central Idaho. Because I've hunted up there, I've hunted some of the better areas in Idaho, and it's different. So I just want to go experience it. Go back to like Virginia or West Virginia and experience that. Or I've got a friend that hunts them down in I think Tennessee, and just
Mm-hmm.
go experience just everything different bear, different terrain, and just
Yeah.
take dogs and go meet up with guys that know the country and just go have fun.
Yeah. No, that sounds awesome.
So
Whenever you come east, you let me know.
I'd love to, for sure. But and it's just just experience. I want to go enjoy it, just do all that, and if you get to meet some awesome people along the way and see some good dog work, that's just what it's all about.
Exactly. Now I'm the same way, and that's one thing I've been fortunate to get to chase quite a bit of different things with some different people, and it's all about just experiencing something different.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I say, I don't kill a lot over. Well, I don't kill hardly anything over my dogs. Some other people have, but if there's one thing that's on my list is I want to go to BC and kill a lynx over dogs.
That's
I want to be able to take mine up there and even run with an outfitter or something up there that's got a little more experience, so I don't run into wolves and stuff. But a lynx is that's one that if I treat it's gonna die. But everything else, I'm just good to go watch.
Now, what about the lynx makes you really want to get one?
They're just one, just the way they run. They're like a bobcat on steroids. Just the way they run fast, they loop, they go through blowdowns. They're just a smart cat, and they are beautiful. I think that's one of the prettiest cat mounts you'll ever see.
Okay. No, I don't disagree with you. I was just curious as to what made you want to kill one of them.
Yep, there's just something about them that really intrigued me, and I wish we had them here to run.
Yeah. So that's the big bucket list item, huh?
That's honestly, I mean, I'd like to go hunt a lot of things, but that is one that I will do in my life. Everything else is just all right. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But that's my one thing. So,
cool.
And it'll be a drive to haul hounds up there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But and there's a few outfitters I know that I've talked to that offer for you to come stay at their place, and they'll run dogs with you, or they'll let you run dogs under their license, because you can't go to Canada and hunt unless you are with an outfitter. They won't let you bring dogs across the border and run. So you have to be booked with an outfitter to do it.
Gotcha. I think I've heard that before.
Yep. So yeah, that's one thing I've looked into pretty heavy, and it'll happen hopefully sooner than later.
Cool. I wish you luck, and hope it works out for you and you're able to get one.
Yeah, I hope so. But even just to be able to go run them, I'll be happy as can be.
Yep. What can we expect from Cold Strike and from the hunting fam?
The hunting fam, I think we'll just keep documenting our journey and enjoying life. And Cold Strike, we're going to keep continuing to grow it for sure. And then hopefully this next year, probably I want to shoot for kind of like an early fall on the pants if we can get it up and going. But that's not anything set in stone. That's just a goal that I want to try and reach. But we'll see how things go from there. I mean, we still kicking out hats and sweatshirts and t-shirts. We've actually got someone working on some new t-shirt and sweatshirt designs for us, just a graphic designer that we work with to change it up a little. And then we just partnered up with, I don't know if you know, Jared he goes by either Best Gun Dogs or Best Hound Dogs. He lives kind of close to us.
I met Jared at Automokes this past year.
Jared's a great guy. He lives about 45 minutes from me, and he makes some leather GPS holsters that are, in my opinion, pretty top notch. And he's been working with us that we've been getting our logo engraved on them. And I've done one round and sold out completely, and he's making another round for me now. So we're gonna keep pushing those because I mean I hunt bears close to Jared, and we just were. I ran into him on the mountain one day and started talking to him about it. And I was like, oh man, I was like, well, when you have one, let me know and I'll get it from you and I'll buy it from you and we'll try it out. And I said, I've just been looking at them. And the next day I get a call over the radio saying, hey, it was Jared saying, hey, I was looking for you. Didn't run into you, but, I left one of those GPS holsters on your camper for you. Just try it out and let me know what you think of it. And I was like, well, let me pay you for it or trade you some Cold Strike stuff. And he says, we'll just work it out later.
That doesn't surprise me. Like I said, he's a good guy.
He is. He's a phenomenal guy. He's been great to work with. And we're actually working on some coasters made out of leather too that we're going to kind of develop and get the logo put on, just as kind of some other things to add in there too. But so it's been a good relationship developing with Jared over there, and he's a good guy, and so we should be releasing another round of those GPS holsters here within the next week or so. He should have me another batch done. They're all handmade, so it's whenever Jared can get to them. So it takes him a little while. We can't just pump them out every day.
Yep. Now, we sat there and we had this great conversation. I'm like, we should have been recording on this. Made a podcast at us. We were sitting under a tent out at Automokes, and like I said, we probably talked for an hour and a half, and was like, we should have been recording all this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a great guy. We actually shared a bear tree this summer too. We just ended up on the same road, and he was in front of me, and his dog's kind of rigged a colder bear track, and we pulled up behind him, and he's like, well, I got a rig if you want to throw in, and he dumped a dog, and his dog didn't quite get it started quick enough, so I dumped one in, and we got it going, a little colder race, and ended up heating it up. And I went in the long way to the tree, just kind of following, helping some young dogs out, and Jared went back up to the top with my wife and kids, and he was by himself, didn't have any of his kids that day, and good enough guy that he hiked in with my wife and kids, make sure they were all right till we all got to the tree, and just enjoyed a bear tree together, and then come back out. So yeah, he's a great guy.
Yep. Well, that's exciting though that you're releasing some holsters, and they're pretty slick. I've seen them before. I've never tried one, but
yeah, I mean, I used to just put them in a pocket, or I'd always have to wear a vest because I'd put it in my vest pocket on my chest, and in the summer I'd get hot, or I'd end up trying to stick it in a pant pocket on your leg like a cargo pocket, and I just hate it. And as soon as I tried that, it was like a teenage boy in instant love. It just, I was like, well, where has this thing been for the last 15 years of my life?
Yeah.
So they're pretty slick. I really like it. And it's a good enough product that I'll stand behind it, even though it's not my own, because it's, very well made. And I'm willing to put it on my website just because of how well it works and how good a quality it is.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing your pants come out, and definitely always look forward to, you guys always have quality photos and stuff on your Instagram, and which is kind of rare.
Yeah.
It helps that you got a photographer wife, and
it does. That makes a big difference. That she's always packing that camera. It's not just a cell phone picture, but
yep,
it definitely makes a difference. That's the thing. I sit at the tree and look at the dogs, talk to the kids, and she enjoys it, but she doesn't get to enjoy it as much as the rest of us because she's taking pictures, getting the right angles, and
yep,
doing that. But in the end, too, though, that's what she enjoys. So she loves the photography side of it.
yep.
So,
Well, Dustin, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me tonight.
oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Any chance I can get to talk to another houndsman, enjoy good conversation, I'll take it. So,
We'll definitely have to do this again at some point.
oh, I look forward to it for sure. And like I say, I know you extended the invitation to come hunt anytime I'm out there, but you make it out west, you're welcome here anytime.
I appreciate it. I'm like you. I just need to plan that big trip.
Yeah, you come out whenever you want. I got a place for you to stay, and we'll just go find something to run.
Sounds good. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talkin Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.